Attention Kisaragi subscribers, Basic Boy here to give all the latest scoop on shoujo and romance anime. Spotted gender, an ambiguous topic that displays social and cultural behaviors dependent on what you identify yourself as. Male, female, trans, everyone should feel represented in media. Stereotypical gender roles are existent in shoujo sports anime such as Princess 9. Let's find out why, shall we? Princess 9 claims to explore the trials of 9 girls at the Kisaragi School for Girls that forms a baseball team for the purpose of playing on equal terms with boys. Their goal is to compete at Koshien, which is a national baseball competition, to demonstrate that girls aren't a one-size-fits-all package. This story follows stereotypes of masculinity and femininity, but structures these terms into a transformative property rather than the character's entire existence. Keiko Himuro had a dream of challenging that girls can perform just as well in sports as boys. Keiko's initial curiosity stemmed from her watching Ryo Hayakawa, our main heroine, pitching, whose father, Hidehiko Hayakawa, was previously in a romantic relationship with her. At first glance, we see that Keiko primarily wants to form this team to fulfill her own desire of keeping Hidehiko's legacy, as she has not yet accepted his death. However, as the girls continue to form their team, they start to face some sexism. Rumors of their team competing had the school administration demanding they prove themselves worthy enough to play for a high school level team. Initially, the principal thought the deal he made with the team was perfect since he thought there was never a way for them to win. Consequently, they ended up winning their game against the junior high team, thus able to compete as a part of the Kisaragi's girls' school, which the administration was extremely upset about. Through Izumi, Ryo, and her teammates, however, the show frames hyper-femininity as a negative trait. Princess 9 goes beyond the typical one-dimensional representation of the school bully by showing the layer and depth of each character and why they behave in a specific manner. It's an excellent character study of taking contrasting stereotypes and flipping them on its head. The desire for power, whether in their passion or pushing gender stereotypes, Princess 9 captures the nuances of approaching femininity, class, and high school social hierarchy. Side note, when I talk about hyper-femininity, I don't want to insinuate that it is a bad trait. Femininity takes many different forms and aesthetics. For example, I'm not saying that Ryo isn't feminine, but that her femininity is contrasted from the hyper-femininity of Izumi, Keiko, and all the other girls at Kisaragi High. Likewise, Izumi's attention to wanting to curate herself as a proper lady isn't a negative trait, even though the show hints otherwise. Anyone and everyone should be able to express themselves and shouldn't be looked down upon because of stereotypical tropes. With all that said, onto the video. We often see our main female characters in comedy, drama, and romance anime depicted in distinct categories of the tomboy and alpha bitch. Ryo falls on the tomboy characteristic, with her priorities primarily focused on playing baseball and is not highly concerned about her appearance to please another person. Izumi, however, is the polar opposite. She focuses on tennis and tries to get Hiroki's attention and clings to him as it was her goal in life to be with him. Both of them, however, don't stay in that lane entirely. At the start, Ryo was dealing with some financial troubles and planned to work at her mom's restaurant. Later that night, some male baseball players came over to find the alleged pitcher named quote-unquote Ryo, who happened to be a girl. Once they heard this, they immediately turned away, not acknowledging her as a worthy adversary. Ryo took offense to this and asked for them to accept their challenge regardless of her gender. The men think it would be easy for them to win, but they were sorely mistaken when they saw her skill level in pitching and lost the game. As the game unfolded, Keiko watched Ryo, which led her to give Ryo a scholarship to attend the prestigious Kisaragi's Girls High School. Izumi has her own troubles she is working through with her mom Keiko, not giving her the attention and time she deserves as her daughter, which causes her rebellious nature to disrespect anything her mom deems as important to her, which in this case is Ryo. She is portrayed as the mean girl, with her actions towards Ryo symbolizing the anger she needs to release from being ignored by her mother. This is displayed in the scene where Izumi finds out about Ryo's father, Hidehiko, and confronts Ryo about the similarities in their last name. Her anger arouses when Keiko doesn't come clean about the full story regarding her relationship until later on. Izumi goes from jealousy to rage towards Ryo and refuses to acknowledge her in order to get revenge on her mother, Keiko. Izumi throughout the show has a girly girl aesthetic. She constantly wears her hair up, short skirts, and slim, fitted silhouettes outside of her sportswear, as of being a tennis player and the way that she has been brought up by her mother to be a proper lady. Femininity in the Kisaragi's girls' school utilizes the unfortunate opinions of what women should be. In this article from For Me in Full Bloom, the writers describe the Kisaragi's girls' high school is one of tradition. It is an academia where girls are taught, in the words of the Board of Trustees, to be good wives and mothers. Before joining the Kisaragi's girls baseball team, Izumi fits this description to a T. Outfielder Yuki Azuma was bullied by her classmates because of her aloof yet weird persona from the doll she carries. Kanako Mida, the daughter of the school's president, is raised to be the perfect lady. For the first half of the series, she disguises herself to not be recognized by her father. When her father finds out that she's been masquerading on the baseball team, he punishes her for becoming a disobedient child and not abiding by going to college and bettering herself as an individual. It implies that girls need to follow societal perspectives of what young girls should aspire to be, rather than think for themselves. The men in this show, specifically the school administrators, treat the Kisaragi girls like a piece of plastic, which emphasizes something shiny and pretty, but nothing beneath the surface. I think in director Tomumi Mochizuki's critique on the girl world, I think he dives more into the girl and not enough in the world, i.e. the society that raises the question of girls participating in male-dominated sports. Attaching feminine qualities between girls through discussion and camaraderie doesn't show the vulnerability in dealing with romantic relationships in shoujo anime are not an uncommon phenomenon. Now it is just displayed through the lens of Hiroki Takazuki and Seishiro Natsume. Although this is not the focal point of the series, it's worth mentioning this as it dives into the intricacies of hyperfemininity in terms of trying to look beautiful and have a pretty appearance to please someone that you're in love with. Seishiro starts at Ryo's friend in middle school, but all along has thought of her as way more than just a friend. His insecurities of admitting his feelings towards Ryo are endearing and realistic. He doesn't approach her right off the bat and decides to let her focus on baseball to not ruin her dream. Hiroki, on the other hand, disregards this entirely and continuously plays around with Ryo because of his infatuation of her skill level of pitching. In my eyes, I don't think he truly loved Ryo for just being herself, i.e. his curiosity of her systematically pushing inclusivity of gender in the game of baseball. Hiroki saw Ryo as a baseball player first and a girl second. During the final segments of the show, with both their schools facing off each other, he states,
"I'm not gonna wait any longer to tell you what I was gonna tell you then, and that is that I've been crazy about you since the day I first hit your pitch. No matter what obstacles you place between us, I'm not going to let you run away from me again. And I'm gonna keep chasing you until you believe it, Tofu, because I love you, and there'll never be another girl for me but you!"
This directly correlates to how he feels about Ryo. In his speech, he didn't mention what he specifically liked about Ryo other than her pitching. The show did a pretty good job in not having Ryo fall head over heels in love with Hiroki. Instead, it ends with their team losing the match against the Kisaragi's boys' school and thinking about the next tournament to go to Koshien. Whenever romantic relationships are involved in high school settings, they usually become messy and chaotic, further detailing how femininity takes form in appearance and behavior. This behavior transforms the girls from acting like their ordinary selves to putting themselves forward to please their potential significant other. Hikari and Yoko in particular are interesting to look at, as Hikari developed feelings for Seishiro while he was still harping on Ryo. She initially does this to help him feel better about himself, but realizes how nice of a guy he was and starts to fall in love with him. From there, her bubbly, energetic personality becomes more reserved and understanding of Sayashiro's emotions to show how she deeply cares for his well-being. Her social dissent with her teammates from that moment on highlights how the change in her mood demonizes hyperfemininity. By allowing herself to change by another person, although she remains energetic around Sayashiro, she doesn't fully return back to that state until they agree to go out with each other. This further analyzes the link of validation as that transcribes Yoko's personality. She utilizes the baseball team as a marketing tool to get her name out there as a model and a potential entertainment star. With getting access to jobs between the team's success, she's reliant on outside parties telling her she's beautiful and fit for the part rather than bonding with her teammates or seeking out those opportunities on her own. The boys in this show display the marker of hegemonic masculinity. Whether their actions are malicious or playful, it ultimately leans into the girls abandoning their femininity to become something they're not for their sake. The title and even the show itself shows these ladies to be princesses. All 9 of them need each other in order for them to succeed in baseball and life in general. What's problematic about the ending is that it leaves a lot of loose ends and plot holes. Since there was no other season being made for this story, nevertheless Princess 9 captures hyperfemininity through the high school social hierarchy and the drive to push beyond gender walls in the realm of baseball.